This computer, yes. We are go.
Okay.
James wakker is. James,
Yes,
ja,
I'm
yes.
awake.
We kunnen, jongen.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Good evening, everybody. George, you don't have to mute the participants for the moment. We're talking a little about we have some questions, and then we have the chapter about balance in the book. And I was wondering if there are any questions on forehand about the chapter or not.
If you have read it.
If you've read it.
Everybody's panicking now.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Then we start off with the questions. One of the first questions, I don't know who, I think it was Jeffrey who asked it about leg sweeps. If we use those, when you have the chance, yes, you can use a leg sweep, but you have to keep it simple. I already told that when we did the 10 facts of JKD, that there are sweeps, leg throws, but there are just simple ones. So keep in mind that when you are sweeping your opponent, you're not actually hitting him. And JKD is a think hit art. When you hit your opponent, you will inflict pain. Whereas you sweep him, he probably will go to the ground, but he will be able to stand up. So, George, maybe you can mute the participants now.
Sure. Shut up. Okay. I have to unmute you. All right. Let's go.
Okay, so when you want to use a leg sweep, keep it simple. And I told in the part about the facts of JKD that when you want to sweep an opponent, you can use this sweep, just a simple one where you sweep your opponent's leg. Same thing when you are on short range. When you are on short range, for instance, when you're trapping your opponent, you make leg contact. So your knee is making contact. What you can do then is just draw back a little, causing your opponent to get off balance. And then you can either hit him or whatever. But whatever you do, keep it simple and try to keep in mind that JKD is a think hit art. So you rather hit your opponent than sweep him. Then we had the questions about forearms as a weapon. I think that was from JC.
What? Forearms? Oh.
Can you use your forearm as a weapon? Yes, yes, you can. I think that I explained that you divide your arm in 3 sections, from the fingers to wrist. First section, wrist to the elbow. Second section, elbow to the shoulder. Third section. So the closer you get to your opponent, the less space you have to really hit him, unless it's a bent arm punch. So when you want to use your forearm, you can do it with this part. So you could make a hit, but on short range it's better to make use of the elbows, and you can either go from outside to inside or inside to outside, and you can always also work straight forward. So yes, you can use your forearm as a weapon. As a matter of fact, you can use any part of your arm as a weapon. I think Wayne asked a question about parrying, blocking, etc. And Koos will cover that subject later. Then I think Stephen had a question about the stance when you're getting close. Again, when you're getting close to your opponent, so in long range, you have your regular fighting stance. But when you are close to your opponent, you open up a little more, but you keep your rear heel raised for that snappy motions. But when you're close, you don't stand in a regular stance, but you tend to open up a little more. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, I don't know who asked this question. What to do, when to do a fake, a feint, or drawing? Okay, that fakes and feints come into play when you use PIA, progressive indirect attack. So when you don't know your opponent, I suggest you start with SDA, simple direct attack. So you make shots to see how your opponent reacts. If he reacts well to those attacks, to simple attacks, then you can notch it up and go to attack by combination. If you still can handle those, that's where PIA comes into play, progressive indirect attack. And then you're going to make fakes and feints. So you keep your opponent guessing. And when you make a fake or a feint, does everybody know the difference between those two? I see. It's okay.
And push-ups. And push-ups.
So fake is a fake movement. It's more alive than a feint. Feint is just a slight movement, whereas a fake is real movement. So when you're using progressive indirect attack, then you use fakes and feints. So for instance, you could make a fake, make low hit, and when your partner reacts, reacting to a low attack, that's the point where you go up exactly in the other direction. So fakes and feints are used in progressive indirect attack. When do you use drawing? Drawing is something that you can use if when your opponent doesn't attack. If he's waiting, in that case, you can draw your opponent to you. And that has to do with the three types of fighters. There's the attacker, the defender, and there's the counter attacker. And you can draw all three persons. Now, why would you use? Why would you draw a counter attack? That's because you know that when you are attacking your opponent, that is going to counter attack you. So you're drawing his counter attack, and that's your opportunity to attack him. So when your opponent is not really attacking you, you can use, for instance, 3 steps backward, and when he's following the last step, you move forward. So that's how you could draw an attacker. But keep in mind, you can draw the defender, you can draw the attacker, and you can draw the counter attacker. I think those were all the questions.
There was one more, James, that was about pressure points from Roy. Do we use them? There were some drawings on in the DAO that he referred to.
I remember. No, we don't use pressure points. Especially when you're moving around and your opponent is moving as well. It's very difficult to hit one specific point. So you would rather rely on the regular kicks, regular hits without specifically aiming at one point. There are some targets on the body, for instance, the sides of the neck, which you can attack, but not specific points on the arms or on the thigh or whatever. That's those were drawings that Bruce had at his disposal, but he never taught people to attack very specific points. Okay, the chapter about balance, and you can find that under qualities. Balance is very important in a fight, and what you try to do is you try to maintain your stance. So your balance actually means your stance at all times. It is achieved only through correct body alignment. So the JKD stance is designed specifically for hitting with your lead weapons. So when your stance is too wide or too long, it doesn't work, because now I've lost, when I'm standing like this, I've lost mobility. I need to come up first before I can do something. When the stance is too wide, there's no body alignment. So only when you have a good stance, then you can use perfect body alignment when you do something. So the stance is small, and small meaning that it's close to your natural pattern of movement. So when you take a normal step, that's the width that you use. So keep your legs on your body. Don't stand too wide. Don't stand too narrow. If you take a small look at, let me see. It's this. Can you see the 3 drawings? In the old book, it's on page 49. I think Koos has given you the numbers of the pages in a new edition and in the Dutch edition, right, Koos?
Yes.
Yes, that is
okay.
That is correct. Yeah, at least the starting page, but in the English edition, it's the 3rd page where the drawings that you refer to. That's page 50.
Okay.
Whatever it is on Dutch one, I don't have them here.
Okay, well, it starts with, in the English version, its balance must be under control at all times, so that the fighter will not lose his control in the middle of an action. And the first drawing is the neutral stance. So you can see the descent line going straight through the body, up and down. And you can see in the drawing that the rear heel is raised. So the center of gravity is exactly between the 2 legs. The second drawing is an offensive posture where the person is leaning a little to the front. So the center of gravity shifts forward. And what you do is, in that position, you shoot off from the rear heel. So in neutral position, center of gravity is here in the middle. In the offensive posture, it moves to the front and you shoot off from the rear heel. And last drawing, that's a defensive posture. And you move a little backward. So the center of gravity goes backward. But make sure when you do that, also, and this is also in training very important, when you do this and you move back, make sure you keep your rear heel raised. So don't move back and now your rear heel is flat on the ground. At every stage, you want to be able to move forward again. So even when you lean back, the rear heel is raised so that you can shoot forward at any time. Well, the next page, old book 50, I think then it's 51. It says, feel for the proper relation of feet to each other. So your footwork has to be very alert and don't change the stance. So whatever you do, kicking, punching, make sure the stance never changes. So every time, even when you kick, you come back to stance again, so that you are able to kick again, punch again, whatever. And here it reads, coordinate with striking and kicking. Make sure you get speed and power, and above all, a balanced position. That's your stance to keep up and to keep up with your opponent. So that's for attacking, or to speedily recover, and that's when you are defending. And finally, Bruce Lee writes, one of the finest exercises for development of a sense of balance is undoubtedly not ordinary haphazard skipping, but real thing. So rope jumping. And what you do is, when you are jumping rope, you are jumping on the ball of your feet, and that will give you a great workout, but also a good sense of balance. Okay, that's what it. I give the floor to Koos.
James, may I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
If you make a fake, then with, for example, the lead hand, you go down.
Yes.
How would you say we go from down to the upper line? Is it from here and you continue your motion?
Let me check. One more time.
Yeah. So if you make a fake down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's say my arm is half extended, right?
Yes.
Then from here, do I pull back and then go up?
No.
Or from here I go like continuous?
Okay, so in progressive indirect attack, there are two important factors. One is it's progressive because to gain this distance, and it's indirect to gain time. So what you do is, when you make a fake, it should be, your opponent should think it's real. Otherwise, he doesn't buy it, and then your fake doesn't have any purpose. So you have to come forward and make it look as if you're really hitting him. So you're moving forward, you're gaining distance, and from this, when you see his hand moving down, that's where you go. That's where you go up. So you don't retract it. It goes from here to there, or from, for instance, from when you are making this hit and your opponent is reacting, you go the other side. So you always attack in the opposite direction. So you draw a reaction of your opponent. For instance, this one is going to block this one, and then I'm going low, but I'm not from here going back, then down. No, from here it's going down in one motion without retracting your hand.
So one question. Also with the fake, you hit almost 70%. Or what's the distance you use?
I would say, yeah. Well, maybe less.
Okay.
Maybe 50, 60, but it has to be. It has to be real.
Yeah.
So
you're halfway, and then you.
Yes, you could motivate your opponent by making a couple of real shots, hard, really trying to hit him, and the last one you hit, he reacts, and they go another direction. So make him think it's real. It's a fake movement, but he has to think it's real movement. Any other questions? No? Okay, Koos, then the floor is yours.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. All right. Good. Okay. So my section was playing into a question of Wayne, defensive work, parrying, blocking, weaving, bobbing and weaving. So firstly, let's look at what are the possibilities for defensive movement. The very first one that a lot of people almost do by instinct or automatically is moving backwards. They're stepping backwards. That's one way to evade a hit. We train this sometimes with a drill that somebody steps forward and the other person steps back to maintain the fighting measure. Does everybody know what the fighting measure is? The right distance between each other. So just far enough away that he has to make a step to hit you. But without making a step, he can't reach you. And that goes for you as well, of course. So maintaining that distance is one thing. However, it is also a little bit dangerous, because if he attacks and you step backwards every time, after a little while, it's very easy for him to figure out how big your steps are going to be. And he may be able to step in a bit deeper, make it a slightly deeper attack, and hit you that last time. The other problem is also that the fight is taking longer. Every time you step back, you give him an opportunity to set his attack up again. So sooner or later, you are going to get hit. So in Jae-Kundo, of course, the intention is to try and stop a fight as soon as possible. So if we can counter to intercept his attack and take the advantage or take the initiative, the better it is. So another thing that people can do, you see there's a lot in traditional martial arts, of course, is blocking. And if somebody attacks you, somebody blocks, whatever way he does it with. That is an option that's available to you, but we don't tend to use it because it's got other disadvantages. The main one being that it hurts. It's not nice. You have a chance of injury. It also takes up a lot of energy to stop a strong attack. And that's another thing we don't want to do. We want to preserve our energy. So more preferred are things like parries. And parries is something that George tackled in one of the first sessions, I think even number one or two or something. But parries are deflections. So a hit comes on and there's a slight deflection on it. Just take it offline so the hit will miss you. Maybe by a fraction, but that's all that's required. A miss is a miss. It doesn't have to miss by a mile. Very small is fine. So that's another way of defending motions. But a couple that I want to go through with you today are a few other ones. These are the so-called drop back, the shoulder roll, and the bobbing and weaving, because these are other elements of defensive movement that you can put to your advantage. Let's start with the drop back. The drop back works as follows. Let me just change the angle a little bit. There we are. Good. Okay. The drop back is something like this. An attack comes at you, and I'm gonna drop back in my stance. I don't necessarily step back. I stay where I am, but I just veer backwards with my upper body. Now you can do that in a few different ways, either by dropping your heel slightly, but that has the danger then that I've planted my foot and it's difficult to go forward again. The other one is lean back and bend my knee a little bit more, but make sure that you stay with your upper body between your feet, and from here you can launch forward again. So this is a very good way of attack on recovery. If he jabs at me and I drop back, then on his recovery, I can launch straight out and go after him. So that is a drop back. And it's amazing how effective it can be. If you look at it, a good fighter, if he wants to hit you, he's gonna try and hit you, but just slightly through the target. As we've always practiced. He's not gonna hit on the target, but he's gonna go slightly through. Maybe by 3-4 centimeters at the most. Otherwise it becomes a push, remember? You wanna hit. But with a drop back, if I hold my hand here steady, I'll just drop back. Look how much space I gain. Much more than his penetration would have been. So the chances of you evading the shot by doing that is quite real. So you drop back and then you hit forward. So first what we're gonna do, and so as everybody's in their own guard position, what we're gonna do on the click signifies somebody hitting. We're gonna drop back, make sure you don't go too far, and then recover quickly with a jab and back in your on guard position, okay? So ready? I hope you can hear it. Can everybody hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So just what we're going to do on the click, drop back, and the answer with a jab. Ready? 10 times. Okay, other leg. Ready? Oops. Okay. Everybody understand how the drop back works? It's very simple. Lean back and then fire in. The next one is a shoulder roll. The shoulder roll is very good to use for, sorry, I'll get myself in the screen a bit. There we are. The shoulder roll is very good to use against straight shots as well. That's one of the main uses for it. It can help to evade a shot to the head, and it helps you to counter at the same time. When he shoots, you roll under with your lead hand, for example. Now the important bit is with shoulder rolls and with other evasive movements, where I want to roll to is the outside of the defensive weapon. If you can visualize an opponent in front of you in a match position, so if I've got the right lead and he's got the right lead as well, if he hits, where I want to roll my shoulder to is that side of my attacker. I don't want to be here. And the reason for that is that there's another hand there. He can follow up. If he misses with that one, there's two more weapons there, a leg and an arm that he can hit you with. So if I want to roll to that side, so I neutralize half of my opponent. I can do that by rolling in my lead shoulder. If he comes straight at my head, I roll in my lead shoulder, he slips over that side, and I'm on his outside with a jab, maybe over here. You could corkscrew over the top of his shot, maybe. There are some options on, but the principle is, if he comes at you with his lead shot in a match position, you turn to the outside and there. I turn such that you're on his outside of that attack. So if he were to shoot the shot with his rear, there, now I want to be here, on this side, because then I neutralize his lead weapons, briefly, okay? So if he were to shoot at me, and he comes with his rear weapon, I'm going to roll here, that side, and I can slip under, maybe follow up, but I want him on that side, and he shoots there. So with his lead attack, if he's in a match position, I'm going here, and if he's making a rear cross, for example, I roll this side. Now, with this one, it's important that I use my footwork a little bit, because I want to keep my feet between my head between my feet for balance. So I step sideways a little bit, almost as you do your rear cross yourself. You roll over the shoulder, and then you go back again. Okay, so we're gonna do a drill now. We'll do 10 lead shoulder rolls, and we'll do 10 rear shoulder rolls. We'll forget about both sides, because I don't think we have too much time left. I'm already in half an hour now, so I'm going to do the lead shoulder first, okay? When you're on guard, when you hear the click, you roll in, and back in your on guard position. Ready? Boom. It's okay to lightly jab out if you do this, eh? Ready? Move a little bit with your upper body. Boom. Boom. One more. Okay. Lead rear shoulder now. This time it's important to use your feet a little bit when you roll. Boom. Here. Okay. Don't drop both your hands. Go down a little bit like that, but stay compact. So let him go, slip over, and you could go boom underneath. And maybe make that shot just to get the feel for that motion. So pretend he's doing a rear cross at your face, you dive under, boom. Okay, get that shoulder forward. Ready? Boom. And back on the line. On guard position. Boom. And back on the line. Boom.
Jamie, don't step in with your left foot, but only with your right foot a little. It's not a step, just step out a little. Yeah. With the right foot.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So that's a shoulder roll. The last one is the bob and weave. Now, bob and weaves are very effective for attacks that come at an angle, come from the side. So that could be a hook, palm hook, a hammer fist, anything that makes sort of a semicircular motion. You can use it for straights as well, but this is a very good, useful maneuver, particularly if you're up close. You see boxers doing it all the time. They're quite squared up, very close up, and this is how they bob and weave all the time, because up close, that's the sort of shots they expect. Okay, and we can find ourselves in a similar position maybe when he drives up onto us. Now the bob and weave is sort of a circular motion with my upper body, and it starts off, let's say I'm in a left lead and I'm getting a hook coming at me from this side. I start my motion by going with the same direction as the hook. Never want to go against it. Bam, not a good idea. So he comes from this side. I start my motion in this while I'm going down, then under and up again. Okay, and with this, you need some sidestepping to end up, again, if he throws a hook at me, this is what I want to end up, on that side of him. I don't want to be here, because again, number 2 is waiting for you. So bob and weave to the outside or to the opposite side of where the attack is originating from. If it comes at you from there, from this side, that's where I want to go with my bob and weave. If it's the rear shot, or the other hand, I want to bob and weave in that direction. Okay, but I start off by starting my motion in the same direction as the attacking tool comes to kind of neutralize it a little bit, and I go under and I step sideways. Okay, so I step out, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the motion. Okay, again, what we're going to do on the click you're gonna go move to outside and back again. Okay, so you do 2 motions, 1 and back on the click. Okay, ready? So just put your strong side on the lead. Ready? And go. 1 and back. Take it easy. Don't do it too fast. If you have to get the feel for it first, form is more important than speed. Get the form right first. Eventually, this will become second nature if you repeat it often enough. So I'll just go again. 1, 2. And again, be careful. Don't go too far sideways. Keep your head between your feet. So if you have to lean further, because he's coming in lower, depends on the height difference of your opponent, step a bit further sideways so you can evade it to keep the balance if you have to go deeper. Okay, but in any case, maintain that feel. Keep that center of gravity. Ready? Boom. You can do this in a slightly more squared up position as well. That is fine, like a boxer, because again, it could be against a hook, and a hook is a short range hit, like George explained last week. So you could be, like James said, if you're up close, you could be a bit more squared up and to do like that. Okay, we go again. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. Last time. Okay, so that's the bob and weave. 3 basic defensive maneuvers that you can do instead of moving back or blocking or parrying. How much time have I got left? Little while, haven't I? Okay.
Yes.
What we're going to do?
There's no time limit, so whatever.
That's true. Okay. What we'll do then is we'll quickly repeat a little drill from a couple of weeks ago, just for those that weren't there, or just to get it a little bit more feel for. And that's the stutter step and the touchdown step. Okay. Remember, the stutter step was basically, simplicity said, just a stomp with your lead foot, boop, and immediately followed by a push step forward with a jab. Okay, the stomp is there to disrupt the flow of the fight when it goes in a certain pattern. The stomp suddenly messes up that rhythm, and you come half a second later than he expects you to be, and can catch him off guard that way. You basically attack on the hand, between 1 and 2. Okay, so just gonna do this for 1 minute, more or less, and I just realized I forgot my time. Okay, well, we'll just go when I say go, and then we'll stop when I say stop. That's okay. I'll get a feel for it. Ready? And go. Just move lightly a little bit, as if you were, so a little bit shadow boxing. And okay, then stop in, and to start the step, hit. Your normal rhythm. So disrupt the rhythm and hit. Boom. 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 Maybe mixing your shoulder rolls and bobs and weaves a little bit while you're moving. Okay, and stop. I think that was about a minute, give or take. Okay, and the last one I wanted to do is the touchdown step. So the touchdown was a small step forward while I'm doing my step and slide. Remember, the step and slides are small steps, they're not big steps. And as I'm doing it, I step forward. So normal step and slide is like that. I go forward with one step and slide. And on the second one, I step in. The moment my foot lands, I don't bring my rear foot in, but I push off. So you get 1, 2, and straight away you go in. So the moment you step forward, you instantly pushed off, or the moment your front foot makes contact. So you could do this in one go, but just for the rhythm, 1, 2, boom. That's the rhythm. So 1 and 2, and you push off on the end. Again, 1 and 2, and hit. Okay, do that exercise for yourself in your own speed for the next minute. Ready? And go. And jump with it, okay? 1 and 2. 1 and 2, down. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 Okay, and stop. Wonderful. And stop. Okay. Any questions on this? Remarks? Oh, Wayne's got a question.
Wayne, yeah.
George is frantically looking for the unmute button.
So I was just going to say that last one with the push step, I can't get. I'm struggling to get the momentum off the rear foot coming forward. So the first one's fine. And then when the second one comes down, I'm not getting the momentum to push off.
Okay. Have you got your rear heel raised enough?
Yeah, I've got my rear heel raised, so it's coming forward, but it just doesn't feel like I'm getting the push off. Once it's stepped.
Well, one thing, of course, is important with this the push. Sorry, the step and slide is that my movements are small.
Yeah.
They're only adjustments. So if anything, the only step forward that I make is no more than half a foot, no more than that, and I can still have enough tension there in my rear leg, if you will, to fire off. If I step too far forward, let's say a whole foot, now it's almost gone.
Yeah, so you can't
do that.
Yeah.
I can't push off. So if you find yourself can't push off, see if you bring your front foot in a little bit more, at which point you feel you can actually push off again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is probably the size of the step you have to make. So from your on guard position, no more forward than that, and then push off. It feels a little bit different maybe for everybody because we're all different heights, different leg lengths, and the rest of it.
Yeah.
But play with that a little bit.
Okay.
As a practice. So from your step and or normal on guard position, go forward a little bit with your front foot, and if you feel actually I can't push off from the air anymore, come back a little bit. That's probably the biggest size of step you should be taking with your step and slide in order for this still to be effective.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else questions?
No.
Okay. Well, that means then I've totally baffled everybody with bullshit, or I've been okay. Then it's over to George.
Probably, yeah. All right. Oh, I'm on mute already. Okay. Okay. Last time we talked about what? About the hook, and also about the non-guard position. Well, if you are in a non-guard position, you are not in the on-guard position, because then you're ready to fight. If you're in the non-guard position, you can stand here, just on one level, your arms beside you, or you can put your arms in front of you, or you can set one foot forward and just talk like this. I don't want anti-trouble, but if you want it, you can get it over here. So the non-guard position is not the off-guard position. Off-guard is when you are sitting down somewhere or don't watch at all. If you're in a non-guard position, you are already aware of something maybe can happen, and over here you're ready to go. So the exercise to warm up is go in your non-guard, and when you get the sign is the light over here. Works pretty cool. If you got the sign, you're going to make a stop kick from here and land in your on-guard position. On the second sign, you go back to the non-guard position. This from here, you're making a stop kick, stand in your stance, ready to go, and then you relax again. So from here, you're relaxed, you go, stop kick, and ready to go, and then you relax. Yes? All right. Just relax, on guard, tra-la-la-la, nothing happens. There you go, Stephen. All right. Ready to go, on guard position 100%, and back, relax. So on guard, sorry, non-guard, non-guard, nothing matters, and boom. Check your on guard, imbalance, and back. Oh, pretty sharp, everybody. Just relax. Okay, stop kick with your other leg, probably left. Okay, pretty good. Going back to the right. After the stop kick, you go for the front hand, step out, rear hand. On the rear, after the rear, you step back to the on guard position. So it's from here, 1, 2, 3. With the 2 punches, you take a little step. So this is on the place, step forward, and go back. This, all right. So stop kick, relax, on guard, la la la, hoppa, on guard, 100%. Okay. And on guard, relax again. Relax. Relax. Are you talking to me? I don't want any trouble.
Don't step through with the second punch, Jamie. Only stepping out. So you don't step through with the second punch.
Okay, other leg forward, lefty. If you're going to kick, now it's not guard, of course. And from non-guard, you're going to make 3 full hits. 1 to stop him, and 2 bonus.
Jamie, don't make a full step. So you kick with your left, you punch with your left, and then you don't step through. Your left leg stays in front. Don't make a full step with the right.
Oh, is he switching from legs?
Yep.
Ah, okay. Now you stay in your on guard position. So from here, 1, 2, 3.
But don't make a full step.
On guard. Oh, on guard. Right. Okay, relax. Pretty sharp. Okay, from what Coach told about the drop back. So from this position, from this position, you drop back. Don't set your heel on the ground. You can do it, but your mobility is gone then. So just let it a little bit down. And now you drop back with the hook that we did last week. So you drop back and your front leg is going to turn because someone is going towards you with his big head and he's almost here. So you just drop back, turn your hip in it, and you hook him. So from here, drop back, hip, hook. From here, boom, and back. And of course, use your steel abs to stop it over here. Don't swing there. Stop it and relax again. So your hip is going rotating, your shoulder is rotating, and your arms going up. So it's close distance because he's here, he's coming towards you, going back, boom, you hit him on the head. Yep, all right, on the flesh. So you're here in on guard position. So back, hit, and go back. Ready? In the on guard position, you can move a little bit. Don't be a dummy.
Make sure you punch with the vertical fist, guys, not with the horizontal fist. It's vertical.
Yeah,
Using the biceps.
From here, turn your shoulder, turn your hip on the head. Boom.
A couple of guys are moving forward with this punch, but you're supposed to drop back. So you're moving backward, not forward.
Who the hell is doing that? Now the meaning is that there's something going towards you and you drop back. So you gain this distance, and in that distance you hit him back. From here, drop back, boom, hit him. Okay, other side. This is probably the difficult side. So, drop back, hip in it, rotate, arm in it, boom, short. Stop over here, and on guard again. It's a very short punch, only from this position to that position. And you use your hip, shoulder to give it power. It's very short between these lines. Not from here, boom, short. Okie dokie, relax. So keep it short, keep it compact, and the power is coming out of your turning your hip, shoulder, boom, there, from here, bam, turn it all the way in. So don't make the shadow. So don't go outside and inside. No, it's from this on guard position, up, your hip, shoulder, boom, short motion, boom. And when you only lift your arm, it's no power. So you need to turn your hip in it, shoulder in it, bam, and stop it over here. And back to on guard, ready to go again. Yes, all right. That was it. Let's go see. Unmute. Any questions about this or that or whatever? Oh, all clear. Oh.
They're all very shy.
Oh yeah, about the forearms from Jace. Forearms is really this one. The elbow is It's an elbow. An elbow. Let's not from here. With the elbow. Scrape the target. But you use your arm. Your complete forearming it. So you're going forward. You use the whole arm to attack instead of only a point. And then you're also ready to be on guard again instead of hit there and no on guard whatsoever. So put your forearm in it or horizontal, vertical, whatever, but oh, forearms going in it. You did that already, guys? Somewhere? Yeah.
I think Poland springs to mind.
Sorry?
Ja, maar ik had meer het idee, I thought about like getting like, instead of a back fist or a hammer fist, you can also do like, almost like a saradi.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure, of course.
Stuff like that.
You
And
can guess.
we thought also like blocking. You can also use the blocking as a sort of attack, right?
Yes, it's
But
it's an interception. So if you block harder than he hits, then he's got hurt, and you're not.
yeah,
be like Iron Man. But you can use your whole arm to attack, or from the side or whatever, or the inside or the inside. Yeah, sure, no problem. Your whole body is a weapon.
Weapon, yes.
Of course.
Okay, that's clear.
Huh? Ik ben beller. Kom in.
Colin must have lost us.
All right.
Okay, that's
yeah. More questions?
Anybody else questions?
No?
Are we
Don't be
sweating?
shy.
Are we sweating somewhere? Or... I don't see sweating. Oh, no.
Oh, wait for a question.
There's a bad resolution. You don't see the sweat.
Okay. No more questions?
not
Yeah,
yet.
if you have a question, wave. Nobody's waving.
Nobody's waving.
Okay, all good.
Quarter past 10. Okay.
Ben's dog is participating as well, I see.
I'll be honest, I've nearly kicked the cat about 4 times.
Oh, he is again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, that's so cute.
I also have a cat, and I tried to do the same what you did, and then I almost he killed me.
Ooh.
It was on a bad moment.
I think those that went to Poland with us remember Horatius, I think.
Horatio.
The cat that we had, Horatio, that we had, the cat that we had on the table outside of the hotel there. He came and watched every training.
Kung Fu cat.
Oh yeah.
Cat.
Pretty cool.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Colin!
Hey, Colin.
Shall we finish off with the salute?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Wie stopt er ineens mee?
Ja,
Oh, man.
Colin.
You did the salute. Rick that?
Yeah, you do it.
All right, ready. Oh, go. Yes, very good.
Okay.
See you next week.
Guys,
See you next week. See you next week, guys.
See you next week.
Guys.
Next
Bye.
time.
there.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Sleep well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep safe.
Oh. Gaat het ding uit.
Bye bye.
Gewoon op de grond gooien, Jace.
Bye.
Gewoon op de grond gooien.
Maf.
Gaat hij ook uit.
Het record natuurlijk ook nog.
Ja, het staat er nog op. Ik heb het nog niet uitgezet.
Oké.
Er zit een knopje ergens. Oh, daar. Ja. Oké, later. Hoi.